Good afternoon, participants. Welcome to our regular Friday afternoon video, our webinar. And today it's May 1st, so happy May Day to everyone. I'd like to go ahead and begin because we have a lot to share with you today. We're going to give you the brief update on the COVID-19 relief programs, along with insight on a new technical solution that marries video and e-commerce point of sale. So I think you'll find this really, really useful as you think about pivoting and growing your business during these uncertain times. But first, let's go over the logistics. We're using Zoom as our webinar platform. You'll see in the middle of your screen, on my screen it's on the bottom, on some screens it's in the top, but there is a tab that says Q&A. I want to make sure you see that tab. You can cursor over to that tab. And if you have questions during the webinar, go ahead and type in your questions at any point during the webinar. You'll notice that we will answer some of those questions as we go on within the Q&A tab. You'll be able to see those answers. But we will also repeat some answers or some questions at the end of the presentation component, so that you have an opportunity to hear the answers live from the speaker. So let's look at today's topic. As I said earlier, we have a lot to share with you, so let's get started. I'm introducing our panelists first. You are very familiar with Steve Denny and Terry Lammers. They have been our core panelists every week on this webinar series. Steve and Terry are the managing members of Innovative Business Advisors. Steve will handle the presentation, which is the update on the government programs providing relief to small businesses. And Terry will be available to answer questions throughout. He and I will both be on the online or the tabbed Q&A session. And then we'll have open answers, an open Q&A at the back end of the video. In addition to Steve and Terry, we will hear from Faaiz Khan. He is founder and CEO of Video Squirrel. He will provide insight on leading edge technology solutions for e-commerce, and very specifically focused on how to pivot and grow your business during these uncertain times. So with that, Steve, I'm turning the floor over to you.
Marquita, thank you very much. We are very appreciative of your stewardship of these webinars. Couldn't do it without you. All right, folks, welcome. And excited to see that opening up America again is actually happening. The governor of Missouri has announced that May 4th, Monday, May 4th, things begin to open up in Missouri. And I tell you, we can't be more excited about that at our household. We're anxious to get out and about a little bit. It's been a long time indoors. Quickly, what we're going to cover today is just a short economic update. Got a couple of very significant PPP updates, and then we're quite honored to introduce you to a visiting panelist who's got a really incredible program to share with you. So, economic updates. This week, we had another huge jobless claim. Brings us to a grand total of 30.3 million people that have filed for unemployment in the last 6 weeks. Unprecedented in our nation's history, and amazing to think that 1 out of every 5 workers is actually unemployed right now. Certainly for all of us that are on this call, and probably all that are listening, you know, this is unprecedented times. We've just never experienced anything like this. The silver lining to that is the trend seems to be going down, and going down by significant amounts week over week. So hopefully we'll begin to see this thing go down significantly as they open the country back up and we begin to return to some level of normal. The other startling fact that came out this week was the March consumer spending numbers, and they were off by 7.5%, which actually sounds a little bit underwhelming until you think that consumer spending is 2/3 of our nation's total economic output, 2/3 of our economy virtually. So really had a huge effect overall. And I don't think we've begun to see the real effects of that yet. I think over the course of the next 30 days, we're going to be hearing a lot more about various things that that are unintended consequences from this lockdown. So I want to transition to talk a little bit about the Paycheck Protection Program, and I want to start with the intent of the PPP. And Secretary Mnuchin, I think, said this fairly well. He said the intent of the law was for you to go and hire people. For every dollar you spend speaking to employers to hire someone, we save $1 of unemployment. The intent for us was not to give you a grant to pay all your overhead. You don't hire anybody and then it's forgiven. So again, the intent of the PPP program was all about employers, all of us using the funds to bring our people back to work and provide them with a paycheck so that we can keep that economic activity happening in our country, keep that consumer spending going. And there's been so much press around it. I think it's been very easy to lose sight of what the intent of the overall program is. But let me, using that as a backdrop, let's go into a little bit of the guidelines of the program. So borrowers should review carefully the required certification. So the PPP, as an applicant and a borrower, requires borrowers to certify the conditions of their business and that they are eligible under the program to receive funds. And the program was designed to help those that have, quote, a current economic uncertainty, which makes this loan request necessary to support the ongoing operations of the applicant. So really, as an applicant, you need to be thinking about a couple of things. One is the current business activity in my company. Is there a lot of concern around that? Certainly, if your answer to that is yes, you certainly meet that test. The next thing is your ability to access other sources of liquidity. Clearly, what we've seen in the media is folks that have abused that. Folks like the LA Lakers, who clearly have other avenues of liquidity and borrowing to them, didn't need to have the PPP funds, or Harvard University, or public companies such as Ruth Chris and Shake Shack and others. So I think that what we're seeing now, and we're catching these almost every day from the guidelines that are issued, is the Department of the Treasury and the SBA just re-emphasizing that people need to be self-certifying and make sure that they're following the guidelines of the programs that are laid out there. So they did come out this week and say that the SBA will review all individual loan files for anybody that takes a loan of $2 million or more. So clearly that's not Main Street businesses, but that is the larger organizations. But they went further and said that the SBA is going to be acquiring additional software that enables them to analyze the total loan volume. And if you stop and think for a minute, there's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.5 million total loans that are probably issued under the authorization. And they're going to need more than humans to go over and analyze all of those loans. So they have said that they will be looking for other abnormalities and then reviewing loan files for anything that they feel looks suspicious. And they even went further and said that the SBA does have its inspector general and they have 90 examiners. But if you think in terms of 90 examiners trying to look over 3.5 million files, that's an average of about 39,000 files per examiner. That probably is not going to happen. So I would say if you're a Main Street company, no real need to look over your shoulder unless you're purposely trying to defraud the system. And then, then I would be ringing the caution bell for you. But if you are a larger company that is taking 2 million or more, just be aware of the fact that your loan is going to be audited. They've come out and said that that is absolutely going to happen. And I'll just use Secretary Mnuchin's own language here to underscore that. And I think the most important part is what he just said recently, and that is it's the borrowers who have criminal liability if they made this certification and it's not true. And, again, we're going to do a full audit of every loan over 2 million. So I think they're trying to sound very serious about this, and I think we'll see in the news media how that all shakes out. So again, word of caution on PPP, make sure that you're using the funds appropriately. if you are at the edge of the cliff and there was some uncertainty about whether or not you had other funds that were available to you, or your business, wasn't impacted by the healthcare emergency, or potentially was even positively impacted by the emergency, I would say this bears some review for you, and to make sure that you are certainly in compliance. The final thing the Department of Treasury came out and said is that anybody that takes the funds and then returns them by May 7th, after fully reviewing these situations, will have been deemed to have taken the funds in good faith. So they're basically giving all borrowers until May 7th to determine whether or not their activity and use of the funds was actually valid. So enough said. Let me move on to some really positive aspect of the guidelines that came out this week, and that is the PPP program can be used for businesses that sell or change owners during the period from February 15th to June 30th. This is a very positive change for businesses that were in the process of changing ownership, and as a result, were not able to certify that they were in operation on February 15th. So now they've added a couple of new qualifications here, and they said the business is eligible for the PPP regardless of the change in ownership, even if there's a new EIN or tax ID number, which always occurs when you do an asset sale and the new company is a new corporation. However, the acquirer must maintain the pre-sale operations. So in essence, the business has got to remain operating very much like it was before the sale transaction. And then finally, the only exception is if the pre-sale business, so the seller, had taken PPP loan out, then the buyer is not able to go and take a new PPP loan out for that same business. So pretty significant enhancement. And for those of us in the transaction world, it's something that we were all hoping would happen, and it did happen. And I think it'll be a positive impact for buyers and sellers in the market these days. So that's the majority of the updates. I also want to just give you a quick overview of the Main Street Lending Program. The Federal Reserve did issue some new guidelines over the last few days, and I'll give you the benefit of those. You'll see those in red from the slides from last week. Couple of major changes. One is there's a whole new loan program called the Priority Loan Program, and basically this is a program that will be available, designed to be available on a faster turnaround for existing clients of the lenders. And basically the lender then will have to keep a larger proportion of the business. They'll have to keep 15% of it, and then they can sell 85% of the loan back to the Federal Reserve. They also expanded the number of companies that are available to take these type of loans. Used to be 10,000 employees or less. Now they're taking it up to 15,000. Used to be revenues of $2.5 billion or less. They've taken it up to $5 billion. And then they've changed the interest rate to LIBOR plus 3%, which is going to give you an effective rate somewhere between 2.5% and 4%. So a couple of big changes there. And then the other major change is they've taken the loan amount down to $500,000. So the minimum loan was $1 million. They've taken it down to $500,000. The Federal Reserve is continuing to take comments on this new Main Street Lending Program. They have not officially released it to lenders yet. They have said that the comment period will run for at least another week. So it is feasible that we could see additional changes before this whole vehicle becomes available to the banks. So we're monitoring this. We'll keep you guys apprised of all the changes, and we're expecting that it's going to become available through lenders somewhere in the middle of May. So again, our commitment to you is we'll keep you up to date and bring you all the details just as soon as we know them. So with that, we are very honored and very pleased to be able to bring to you guys today Faaiz Khan, who is CEO of Video Squirrel. And he's going to talk to you all about this revolutionary new technology that's available for business owners of all types and sizes. It is really cutting edge stuff. Faaiz is a giant in the technology world, had his own agency for many years, and is incredibly well known throughout the whole technology field worldwide. And this is a revolutionary new product. And we're just honored that Faaiz would make the time for us and come join us today. So with that, Faaiz, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Steve. Hi, everybody. My name is Faaiz, and I'm the CEO of Video Squirrel. I'm going to jump right into my presentation. If I can, let's see, my screen share works. There we go. Can you guys see my screen?
We can.
Cool. So as we've seen with these unprecedented times, there's a lot of shift in behavior, a lot of shift in business. But this is a journey that that I started with some folks, my head of product, for example, from St. Louis as well, and my co-founder, Jesse Dunlop, as well. And we started this in 2018. We already saw that 84% of online consumption of content was actually video based. So this is everybody who's on this call today has or will see some form of short video. This doesn't include your Netflix binging or your HBO Max or any of those. This is just you watching videos on Facebook, on YouTube that are short form. And all of us can relate to this, because how many times have we actually seen a video and then we're like, oh, this is pretty cool, I want to know more, or this is pretty cool, I want to buy this. 99 minutes, and this is before COVID, I think the stats would obviously change, but 99 minutes is the average time that each one of us are spending every day watching video content. And that's, again, what we call small snackable content. The average duration of that is 90 seconds. 21% of the products that were sold last year were sold directly through social media videos. So if you're on Facebook, you're watching something and there's a link somewhere and you click on it and you go. And they say that this year, the opportunity on e-commerce is going to be at the equivalent of 666 billion. And that's through the video selling and things like that. However, the reality is that any video that you do today still kind of sits at top of the marketing funnel. If I look at something and I'm like, I want to buy it or I want to know more, there are many different hurdles that consumers face in trying to get to purchasing or converting even interest into some sort of a transaction or a lead. And then attribution in itself is very murky. If any one of you have operated your own e-commerce site or done online selling, you know that you're going to need Google AdWords, Google Analytics, you're going to need about email softwares, then you're going to need video marketing software, social media softwares. You may end up using Facebook's ad manager, page manager, and then you have all this data that's distributed everywhere that then you try to translate to, well, what does this mean for traffic on my site, my shop abandonment, my cart conversion rate, and all of that. And what we have seen last year is that 24% of the people just didn't care. They're like, this process is too long, we just want to buy this product, and they just got distracted, exhausted, and just abandoned it. Another 34% just were asked to create accounts, and there's actual fatigue. People don't want to remember new passwords anymore. They don't want to download new apps anymore, or remember or give their information yet to more and more websites. So a third of the online shoppers just abandoned their carts because of just being asked to create an account on every single website. And if in case any one of you have ever run a nonprofit or been involved in one and were one of the 203 online donation pages that we studied last year with 1 million emails data that we have, 83% of those people that landed on your donation page actually never bothered to donate because the process was too murky and just never got to the end. The result of that was a 213 billion of loss in friction. And then 15 billion last year was spent with influencers, with third parties, with marketers in trying to get attribution, trying to get these sales, and social selling just didn't happen. So what we have done at Video Squirrel, as we were looking at it in 2018, was we said, well, why can't the video just be the point of sale, right? Like, you've got, like, technology's advanced so much, why can't you just simply watch a video, click buy, and purchase? And that's what we started studying This year, according to eMarketer, which is an organization that is the leading organization with data and research with e-commerce and trends in the US, has predicted that shoppable video is going to be the biggest trend of 2020, which is that you offer people a direct path to checkout. So what does Video Squirrel do? We take all those hurdles, we package your video, any third party can participate, your e-commerce, your product, your online selling, and then the attribution side of it, and we deliver all of that through video. I'm going to talk about that. I'll actually show you examples of how this all works, but we're finding that there are different ways. As you can see within the video, we're able to put a donate button or a checkout button. So, or the uses of this is e-commerce donations or even political campaigns. You can put our videos on a landing page or a website and embed it like you did a YouTube video. And you'll notice that the dollar button is right there on the video itself. You can also do live broadcast anywhere you are through our mobile app. You can share it anywhere on social media, text messages, emails, all of these videos. And then the best part is, if you want any third party to work with you, you can offer them through just one click. You can run an affiliate program. So any influencer can create content for you, raise funds, sell products, and syndicate your content or the content that they create to any third party. Now, I've just run through a lot of this, but I really want to get to showing you how all of this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video of how last year we helped this company RDKL work with an influencer, Becca, and generate about 5 to 6 sales a day of their complete care kit, which is, you know, for a brand that's just kind of out of the blue launching in a saturated market as hair and makeup and beauty online is a pretty significant achievement. So my website's going to load in a second. So this is Becca. As you can see, she runs her own blog. She gets about 1,000 users. She has her Instagram account. And here's what she did. She came to Video Squirrel and she was able to embed a video right there in her blog. Sorry, I have to, I believe, get out of full screen. She was able to embed a video right in her blog.
And I live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and I'm a travel blogger. I'm a mom to Lainey and Roman, and my daily routine usually starts waking up in the morning, making sure the kids are fed and getting them ready to school, and then I immediately start my RDKL skincare routine with the fresh face wash. I love that this is a clear, non-foaming gel that cleanses my whole face in just 1 to 2 pumps. The wash is the first thing I put on my face in the morning, so I need a cleanser that assists in repairing and rejuvenating my skin from the inside out. The aloe and jojoba oil help tremendously in balancing out my skin. The fact that this toner is a gel is my favorite. I like all the toning properties that this toner provides to help reduce redness and increase circulation. On my makeup-free PJ days, I actually like to apply this twice a day because it really is a powerful toner that helps detoxify and moisturize my skin. I'm always striving for the cleanest, purest botanicals to put on my skin, so knowing that I'm applying another one of my favorites, the Japanese green tea extract, as well as grapeseed oil, I'm really happy to give my skin the nutrients it needs for the optimal repair. This highly concentrated serum is my must-have.
So what you saw me do there is somebody can be watching the video itself and they can purchase right there in the video. They don't have to click, go to a website, add to cart and check out. It's right there in front of them. I can show you many different examples. Here's another example of Stacy, who's an influencer. So when the video is published, it shows who the influencer is or who the content owner is. And then she's selling these $1.99, another makeup brand a beauty brand that we helped launch last year. So you can see that this is Free Girl Skincare. They're selling a full kit of 4 pieces for $199, and you can buy it right here. What you will notice about our videos, and we've done a lot of research. We've studied 29,800 consumers and looked at their behaviors. we ask for their credit card information first, and then we ask for their who they are and all of that. You'll see 90% of e-commerce sites, almost 99% of them, will say, do you want to create an account? Do you want to check out as a guest? Oh, now enter your details, your email, all of that. And right at the end, they actually ask for the credit card information. Our research and data, and we came at it from a neuroscience and a consumer behavior perspective, is how do we all think and operate when we are doing human-computer interaction? And based on that, we actually realized that the data shows that any average consumer on the internet has 7 seconds to make a decision. After 7 seconds, friction kicks in. So you've got to, there's this high that builds up in about 7 seconds and it peaks. And after that, your brain starts coming up with all sorts of excuses. Well, I don't know, do I want it? Do I want to spend the money? Or you get distracted, you get a text message, email, call, your kids start shouting, the dog starts barking, you know, your wife starts saying, hey, come on, don't spend the money, I need you here. Thousands of reasons that happen, and then you're distracted. So we have given them the credit card information first, because as soon as you have entered the credit card information, our testing shows that humans at that point, or consumers at that point, are done with the decision-making process, and their brain or their demeanor moves to gratification, i.e., oh, I've already made the decision. I'm buying this. I already entered my credit card. The decision is made. As far as they're concerned, the sale is done. Now they're just telling you, oh, I better ask them where to ship this product for me, right? And so, or I better tell them where to ship this product for me. And so that's what we do. We've been able to help in the COVID crisis restaurants. So Angie Subs, which is in Florida, was able to sell couple of $100 worth of gift cards a day through having some of their patrons create videos and put them on Facebook. So in this case, Billy Tucker, she created this video, as you can see, but she created it for Angie Subs, and then she put it on her Facebook page, sharing with people, and she's had all these comments and shares. And as a result of that, she's done about $350 worth of gift cards in just one Sunday morning for Angie Subs. And we've been able to replicate that with hundreds of other patrons of different restaurants. Another restaurant that, again, Billy actually ended up supporting, that is that doing a curbside pickup, is a chef with a restaurant called Blue Bamboo in Florida as well. So this is her video. You can see it on Facebook. You click on it, and we made a landing page where you can see, this is Blue Bamboo. This is what they're saying. The pickup is actually tonight at 6:30. And it kind of tells you, hey, these are the details, and you can just click here and buy that meal kit right there from that chef. And we're seeing a lot of restaurants use video as a way to sell. We've seen a lot of gym instructors, a lot of yoga people. Similarly, we've seen kits, like this is another influencer that worked with one of the brands that we have called Eat Your Coffee. If you don't want to drink coffee, you can eat it now, apparently. And so this is a box that comes with snackable coffee. You can see this video has been done by Nikki, and she did this video, she put it on her Instagram, and Eat Your Coffee was able to move a bunch of products. Similarly, we've also seen nonprofits use this. So this is a video that's done by Somebody Cares in Tampa Bay, and they are running a food program for the COVID crisis, and they're using this as a way to solicit donations. And you can just hit donate, select the amount that you want, click next, enter your credit card, and you're done. So we've seen, for example, this company, Produce Alliance Foundation, which the parent company is a $2 billion company that actually provides fruits and vegetables to most of the grocery stores that we shop from. And we've been able to raise $140,000 in donations with this video for them that's been shared in the media and so on. And you come to their page, and what they're doing is they're providing fresh boxes of fruit and vegetables to hospital workers and healthcare workers at about, I believe, 12 different locations in Illinois and Missouri right now. And they're expanding to 21 locations, and then they're hoping to expand nationwide. So you can see all of that. This is how they have put together their landing page and the website, and the videos embedded. They didn't need to go and sign up to PayPal or set up Shopify or any of those stuff. They just came into our system, created the video. And in this case, they didn't even know how to create the video. And we had a guy in Chicago We just called him up and he went to their office and was able to get a video done for them in a day for $500. I mean, this is a pretty cool video for $500. And you just hit donate. The checkout is right there in the video itself. And similarly, surprise, surprise, stockbrokers are using Video Squirrel to sell research for their stock. So this guy, Rob Booker, I can let his video play. He's been selling these $5 research.
Hey everyone, Rob Booker here. Please pay close attention because all this stuff I'm holding here, I want you to have it. What is this stuff? Well, I want you to have the information because it's my top stock pick for 2020. And here's what you need to know about this company. It is a pharmaceutical company with late.
So you just hit $5, you enter your credit card information and you're able to buy. And this guy's been selling like 84 to 50 a day of this stuff. These are the different examples. And last but not the least is something we never thought would happen. So this gentleman, piano, he plays a piano, and every, I believe, Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, he does a live performance. He puts that onto Video Squirrel, and you can tip him. You can put this on your TV or you're on an iPad, watch the videos. And, you know, he says, if you like my music or my entertainment, go ahead, tip me 10, 20, 30 bucks. So, hey, thank you, Murray. I like your music. I will consider a tip for you. You can do that as well. And you can see that on his website. So these are all the different examples of how we have just in the last 4 weeks with less than a few hours of investment and with no understanding of technology, been able to help hundreds of different businesses, nonprofits, and individuals get online and get on this bandwagon they keep calling the digital revolution without needing to spend thousands of dollars on consultants or third parties to figure out how to use it. We do have an offer going. We are a subscription business and we have been focusing on the high end. So we've been working with Warner Brothers and Macy's and lots of those kinds of customers. So we had opened up our system for the use of everybody for free up till 1st of June. And you can use it. There's nothing except a transaction fee that gets charged as you would pay if you were using credit card processing in your store or anywhere else. And then after the 1st of June, we charge a subscription fee of $60 a month. And it scales based on number of videos you have, the features you want, and all that kind of stuff. So Steve, that's what we have for people here.
It's an incredible platform, unbelievable. So no coding required, right? You don't know it. You don't need to know how to build a website. You don't need to know how to build an e-commerce site. You don't need to know how to do a video. You don't need any kind of a studio equipment. We're all walking around with these wonderful little devices in our hands, right? Called cell phones. And you don't need any software or any other equipment, Faaiz, and you can get on this platform and begin selling whatever it is your business sells immediately, and even getting your customers to sell it for you. So if your customers are coming in and they're normally providing you a tip or telling you how much they like your service, just ask them to get out their phone and spend a minute and give you a video testimonial, which you can then link to your business, right? Do I understand this correctly?
Exactly. You can get any of the guys, instead of asking them to give you a Google review or an email or anything of that nature, you just say, hey, here's my link, sign up and give me a video review. And then they can take that link, they can text it to their friends. So if you want to recommend a restaurant, you want to recommend somebody's service, you want to promote some product that you believe in, just do a video. And the best part is the restaurant or the owner can offer you a percentage or a performance incentive as well. They can say, hey, for every sale that comes through, I'll give you 10%, 20%, 30%, or $2, $1. So the incentive affiliate system is also built into our system. And yes, you don't need any coding. You can just literally record a video on your phone. Like actually, Terry was working with us the last 24 hours and he got his book up and running. He did a video and he already has a video uploaded with a shoppable link that he can put anywhere he wants. Terry, you want to talk about your experience?
Great, Faaiz.
On me?
Great, Faaiz. So, yeah, it was really simple. I mean, it took little or no time. Faaiz
helped me out, and I recorded the video this morning, and I'll probably re-record it because you never get it exactly the way you like it, but it's really simple. Amazing.
Yeah, we're certainly our own worst critics in that regard, but even old guys like us, Terry, can make this work, right?
Let me, Faaiz, if I can, pose a question to you, because I'm very fascinated by this. When you and I first met, I mentioned to you that I buy a lot, and I do follow influencers on both YouTube and Instagram. And often they send me to a third page called Like to Know It. I'm sure you're very familiar with that. And then from Like to Know It, it may send me to Nordstrom's, or it may send me to At Home or wherever. And ultimately, I end up doing the transaction with that end application. I'm saying all that to really position this and ask the question, if I am a small business in, let's say, St. Louis metro area, and I have the ability to pack and ship products that I have in my store that people have not been walking in to purchase now. How does that transaction work? Because I'm not using that big third party like the Nordstrom or the At Home on the back end. Can you speak a little bit to how that transaction ties together for the small business owner here in our market?
Of course. So the best part is if you already have logistics figured out and you have product, that's all you need. You don't need a website. Although I recommend that as a digital strategist with 20 years experience, I recommend you have a website and you have some presence on social media. But even if you don't, that's not a requisite to use our system. Let's say all you have is a storefront and a bunch of product in that store. You can sign up to our system. All you have to do is fill out a few forms so that you can create your product. So let's say if you're selling hand lotion, for example, you just come in and you say, this is my hand lotion, this is the sizes I have, this is the price I have. You record a video yourself, or if you don't, we can recommend different people who can help. We have a database of some influencers. We can send them out an email, or we can recommend software that does that, where they go find influencers and other third parties for you. And so the video creation is the main part, is just creating that video. Once you upload the video, that's all you need. We provide you, and I'll share the screen again. We provide you with the shoppable link of your video. So in this case, I'm gonna just share my screen to illustrate what I mean. This is the end result of what you see is this URL, which has this video player, and it has the checkout. You do not need to sign up with any credit card processing. You don't need to sign up with PayPal, Stripe, or anything. That's what we offer, is everything bundled into one solution. All we require you to do is log into the system, and I'll show you the system looks very, very simple in the back end. So I'm gonna log into Angie's Subs, the restaurant that we have. Click the wrong side. So you would have added your products. So you just simply click add a product, you name it, and this is our product form. It takes less than a few minutes to fill it out. And then you would just go to videos and you just click add a video. And this is where you select a product, and that's it. That's all you need, is the information about the product and a video. Once you have that, the end result is these videos that I keep showing you guys. You can take this URL, text it to everybody in your phone book. When they click the URL that they receive, it will direct them in their mobile browser. They don't need to download our app. They don't need to log in or anything into this video. And on the video will be $14.99, and they can click that and start the purchase right there. You can email people this link. You can put this on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn right here. You just click this. If you're logged into LinkedIn, it will tell you, hey, this is what you're gonna post. So, this is what it's saying, share and post. It's thinking I'm on a mobile site right now. That's why it's showing it. So I can just say, I wanna share this in a post, and I can talk about this. So you can directly put this on social media right there from the videos, or you can embed this into a website. If you're a blogger, you have your own website, you just embed it. You don't need to know coding. You don't need to have a web manager. You don't need to have special skills. You don't need to go get a credit card processing. You don't need to wait 48 hours for approval or anything like that. You just come in. If you have a product and video, you're ready to go.
Wow, Faaiz, this is interesting. So where does the cash transaction terminate? Where does that $14.99 end up? Is it an account within your infrastructure, or does it make its way all the way to the business owner's bank account?
Right. So yes, what you would do is when you set up your profile, you would enter a bank account information of your business. We never keep any bank account information or any credit card information because we use Stripe in the back end as our master payment processor. We deliberately have designed the system so we have no access to anybody's financial information. This information is stored by Stripe, and then you can see how much money is available and how much money they've already taken out. So this is Angie Subs, that restaurant that I showed you. So they've had all these gift certificate sales. They've already cashed out all these, and they have another sale that happened on April 30th, actually yesterday, that they have available. All you do here is hit cash out, and the money is transferred to your bank account within 2 working days.
Wow, very interesting. So I do have a client or a participant who asked a question, and here's the question. Don't understand what the subscription is. Could you speak more to your subscription? Is the business owner the subscriber? Is the end merchant the subscriber? How does that work?
Right. So most of you are familiar with using email marketing software like MailChimp, Constant Contact, or any of those, right? They charge you a fee every month for using their system. So MailChimp starts at $9.99 or $8.99 actually. Constant Contact starts at $9.99. So similarly, our system is a subscription-based system. When you sign up, you agree to use the system, and we charge you a fee of $60 a month as the owner of the account who's going to make videos and sell product to be able to use it. This is a new thing for us, frankly. We never thought that that's what we would do because we've been focusing on the high-end customers. So we've been, like I said, working with Macy's and Vans and Reef and Warner Brothers and selling movies through reviews and all of that. So we never anticipated, you know, we never handled a campaign or an account for less than $25,000. But we are now, in light of everything that's happened, we've opened up our system. If you came into our site right now, you can use it for free. You just pay for the credit card processing today. Starting June 1st, everybody that uses our system or signs up from that point on will be charged a minimum of $60 a month to use our system.
Okay, so the $60 per month is systems usage. Speak to price structure again. I thought I heard you say that there was a percentage for the dollar volume on transactions that flow through.
Yes, so we currently only charge about 4% of the transaction fee. So for every $100 you transact, we will just charge you 4% of that. And then Stripe charges their fixed fees that they charge everybody, the $2.99 and 30 cents. For nonprofits and political campaigns, we charge half of that. For businesses, it's 4%. And that's all transaction based at this point in time. Now we understand not every business is going to have, frankly, any volume whatsoever. They're going to come on and going to try and build a business. And so that is what we have done. Previously, our system was closed. It wasn't even available for local businesses. We've opened up our system so the same terms that we've been doing with the larger clients, like Macy's does, like, you know, some of the volume that we run is in millions of dollars. So we used to charge 4% on the transactions. Instead of charging 4%, from June 1st, we will only simply charge $60 a month. And then your Stripe fee of $2.99 and 30 cents would be a third-party fee that would be charged no matter what.
Okay, great. Great. So I have another question, and this, Steve, I'm going to direct to you. Gary asks, how does cash and available line of credit affect the available funds regarding PPP? In other words, do you have to tap out your line before you take a PPP loan?
Well, there's no requirement that you have to do that, but it is expected that if you have a line of credit that you would use those funds first. But you also have to understand that if you're using your own money, there are other aid programs that are available to you. So, you know, when you do that, you would be able to apply immediately for the various tax credits that are out there for the employer portion of the taxes and so forth. And if you're using that to fund people who are out on leave, you get, you know, full 100% reimbursement of all of those costs as well. So there are myriad other programs that are also available for those that have the ability, that have some reserves and the ability to use their own credit and lines to keep their business up and running during this period of time.
Great, thanks, Steve. So at this point, we don't have any additional questions queued, and I will encourage you, if you're out there with a question, type it in very quickly, because otherwise I'm going to begin to close down.
Yeah, I've got several. Faaiz,
Great.
Is there any type of business, Faaiz, that you can think of that couldn't benefit from this? I mean, I'm sitting here, I was trying to think who couldn't use something like this, and I can't think of one. Is there one where you guys may have done something that didn't work?
Yes. Obviously, we don't want any sort of pornography or anything of that nature on our system.
Excellent.
So there are certain things that just we are required by law that we can't support in all of this. I would say as we have seen, so we have tested this. We spent a couple of $1 million between 2018 and 2019, and we have tested this with about 2,000 different sizes of businesses over that time. And the net result of one of our learnings, the critical learning here is, it's kind of, again, like MailChimp. You need to put the effort in to actually make it work. The type of video that you do, so the content that you create, the contextual relevance of that content, and then the visibility of that content are the three things that actually define the success of this. So just because you create a video on any system, even if it's YouTube, doesn't really guarantee any sort of results. And the same is true here. So creating a video or a shoppable video is one step closer to offer your consumers a seamless experience, but you need to go get those consumers or have those consumers or have access to eyeballs. So we are finding, there was actually a gentleman, he was running for a primary campaign, and he was one of our first political adopters for this actually. And he started doing a lot of broadcast videos. We were very excited because, you know, he's sitting in his car and he's pointing the camera at himself and he's doing broadcasts. So we didn't really look at his videos because we try to have a private system. We don't want to look at people's data. The sales data that comes through is all yours. We don't keep it. We're not like Amazon that if somebody buys a candle, we're going to go back to them and say, hey, do you want to buy a candle holder as well? Because we've got somebody who does that. We don't do that kind of stuff, at least not yet. We from a data and privacy perspective, we don't do that. But we had a gentleman, he was running for Congress, and he kept doing these videos, and we were like, why is it that there were some donations that came in and then they just stopped? So we looked at his videos, and what we saw was he was starting to do these videos where he's sitting in the car, he's got his phone in this holder, and he's doing a live broadcast. But you can only see the top of his forehead, and you can see the roof, and he's talking and talking and talking, and the videos are really boring as well. And I called him up and I said, hey, and I won't name him, but I said, hey, Mr. X, do you realize that if you're going to do a video, people should actually see who they're talking to? All I can see is the roof of your car. And so that's not very interesting, is it? And then he did another video where he said, well, go and comment on my Facebook page. I want to hear from you. And I was like, well, you just gave them a call to action, and look what happened. You had 90 people comment on your Facebook post, but not a single person donated to your campaign through the video because it was contextually irrelevant. You asked them for a call to action of, hey, comment, and I want to hear from you, not to donate. So what we find in terms of success is you need to produce the right content. You need to put it in front of a decent amount of audience, and you need to try different things. Not everything will work. There are very, very cheap ways to be able to get email lists or get, put a social media post and be able to sponsor it. So one of the cool things that you're able to do with this also is to run an ad on Facebook for video costs you about a minimum of $3 to $5 per 1,000 views. On YouTube, the same ad will cost you $17 for every 1,000 views of the ad. Now, correspondingly, if you shared this link and said, hey, watch this video, and they clicked on the link and they went out and you sponsored that, it will cost you 17 cents for every 1,000 views of that post that you sponsored. So again, from a cost benefit perspective, there's a lot of different things that we've done looking at all the consumer behavior and the data that kind of feed into the success of this. But the main thing here is what we offer is the consumer experience and the ability to interact in the video. What we don't offer is an audience that will just start buying from you. We're not Amazon. We're more like MailChimp. And so we have actually found, you're going to love this, the video that I showed you of this gentleman who was selling stock tips, his conversion rate from views to purchases is 31.4%. He has never had that kind of sort of, success. He has all these, like you go to his website, he has these lengthy pages, like they all teach you, and all the digital strategies would teach you, have these lengthy pages, have call to actions, and keep convincing people and put videos and put images. He had all of that, and the best he got through that was 2.1% conversion rate from views to conversions, and he's doing 31%. The guy's gone crazy doing videos on our system. Similarly, that restaurant that I showed you, Angie Sub, had a conversion rate of 9%. They've never had a 9% conversion rate from views to sales on their website or Facebook or any of those places ever. So that's what we offer is, if you're going to make the effort to get to the people, we offer you that efficiency then to make the point of discovery the point of sale.
And there's no cost to do multiple videos, right? I mean, it's a straight $60 a month. You can post all the videos you want. Keep experimenting until you find the one that works. Do I understand that correctly?
Yes. So you can do as many videos as you want a month. You can do as many link shares as you want. You can get as much traffic. A lot of systems will cap how much videos can be viewed or how many sharing you can do, how many times you can embed something. So we don't have any of that because we're not an advertising system either. And we benefit from your success. I mean, if you don't make sales that justify a $60 fee, you're not going to use us. And so we have opened every part of our system that would allow you to benefit and get more sales. And that's kind of our inherent integration with you, is that we benefit when you sell more.
Faaiz, this is a difficult time for a lot of business owners. So give our viewers the inside pro tips. What do they need to know to really maximize the exposure on your platform?
So this is, again, nothing to do with Video Squirrel. I'll just speak from having served Pepsi, Pantene, and having run lots of e-commerce stores. As you know as well, Steve, in 2008, when the last crash happened, a buddy of mine tried to convince me to sell $2,000 bathrooms online. Like, you had to buy a shower enclosure for $2,000. Everybody I talked to said, are you kidding me? Nobody's going to be renovating their house and buying bathrooms for $2,000 in this economy. Well, about 41 million pounds later in that. So here's what I can tell you. There's a lot of noise on the internet in two different ways. One, there is every Tom, Dick, and Harry who knows how to log into Facebook as an internet marketing expert and will tell you how, hey, we'll charge you $500 all the way up to $10,000. We'll make you a website, blah, blah, blah. Please do not fall for that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that is just available for free. Like Zoom's even giving away free accounts. MailChimp is giving away free accounts. So there's a lot that can be done for free as long as you have some time. And nobody today can make the excuse that they don't have time, So one is, it's start by putting in some time yourself. What I see, and I've consulted for thousands and thousands of small businesses, what I see a lot of small businesses do is they say, well, we don't have time. Actually, no, the money that you pay the consultant is not worth it. Not at least you've learned the few tips or tricks and things that don't work. Because that may be a very expensive lesson to just learn that, oh, this thing doesn't work. That's one. Two is to maximize exposure through this. What I recommend is start with what you have. most people undermine their own social DNA, as I call it, which is what? How many people do you have in your own phone book, Steve? How many contacts? 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 maybe?
Yeah, about 3,500 in my iPhone.
Great. How much will it cost you to send all of them a text saying, hey, check out my video and see if you want to buy this product?
0.
Why don't you do that?
Because I didn't know this product was available yesterday until you were kind enough to introduce it to us and make the time to come on our show and share it with others.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point, is people underestimate how close they are to potential customers. So all you do is you take the video link and you share it with your friends and family and say, hey, would you like to buy one of my things? They probably love you, so they will. Some of them will. And then they also love you. So if you ask them, hey, can you also share this video with others? They probably will. The chances are that if you produce something, one of your friends will know somebody that wants to buy that product. So that's where you find your early adopters. That's where you find your early successes. All of us probably have a couple of thousand email addresses of friends, family, business contacts, all sorts in our Gmails and Hotmails and all sorts of things. That's another place to start. As you saw, Billy Tucker, I've shown her twice because she's been amazing. She has about 500 friends on Facebook. She's about 65 years old, and she's doing these videos for 2 or 3 different restaurants that she really loves. And she's selling $500, $700, $800 worth of gift certificates for these restaurants every single time she does a video and puts it on her Facebook. So it's not the fact that you need experts to do it. You just start with the basics. Start with friends and family, start with your phone book, start with your email list, start with your own social media. As long as you give them a decent video and we have taken care of the customer experience, the rest should follow. And that's where you start building from all of that. For businesses that have been around a while, they should have their customer contact information of people who've already bought with them before. One of the cool things that is very underutilized in just customer retention is the ability to offer them virtual currency. What do I mean by that? Nothing, you don't actually lose money if you say, hey, I'm making you an offer since you already bought from us before. You get a $2 discount for buying something again. By the way, here's a video of our new product, right? So all you're doing is the same money that you're going to spend on marketing and ads and stuff. You're just offering that as a discount to that same customer if they take it. The chances are the 10, 20% that who take up that offer will more than make up for any sort of discount that you've given up. And so that's kind of how you start building up on these small little tactics with the few people that you may have in your contact list and the first tier networks that you have, because you really got to work your first tier networks. And please don't make videos where they can't see you and they can't hear you. You know, that's not going to work. And, you know, hopefully people will then tell you, hey, we like this or we don't like this. And that's a great way to start.
Well, and you're being very generous, giving this away for free for the month of May, so people can go on there and use it all they want, and it costs nothing, and the money gets deposited directly into their account. And what do they got to lose?
I mean, nothing. The only thing I tell people is, you know, some people say, hey, 4% is too high. I will tell you this, that's $196 you're not making today. So would you rather make $96 or would you rather fret about not giving away $4 that you don't have?
And you've seen this.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Steve. I just said valid point.
Yeah, and you've seen this for services, for product sales, for any type of business. I know you were showing us earlier a company that's selling fresh produce in Chicago and doing hundreds of thousands of dollars through the platform.
We've done $140,000.
Unbelievable.
We even had a cleaning company. So a cleaning company out of Texas actually called us 3 days ago. And they said, hey, we saw one of your videos. And I was like, okay, what do you guys do? And it was very funny because, you know, I mean, I'm brown, I have an accent, I hardly speak English. So it's sometimes hard for me to relate to the different accents in America. And it was really funny because the guy's like, well, I clean stuff. And I was like, what do you mean you clean stuff? Well, you more detail. And he talked about, well, we have this cleaning company and we go and clean, like do big commercial buildings when, like, you know, tenants move out or tenants move in. But now he's like, I just secured 30 new contracts and I just don't know how to do this business anymore. Like I don't have people and stuff. So would you be surprised that he actually first did a video saying, your interview, to set up an interview with my company, you need to pay me $5 when he did that. So he basically made his recruiting video as a way to sell. But what was really funny is that video got him another 70 contracts, because then small businesses started calling him and saying, oh, you are a cleaning business? Oh, cool. We are able to buy this. And he's like, I don't have the people to process these orders. So we set him up a landing page like this. We put his video in. We said, well, what are the variables for you? And he said, well, I offer this 4 packages. We made those packages as the different variables. He's now selling $2,500 worth of cleaning service through a video.
In 3 days time, guys.
Yep.
Doing
Yeah,
newfound money.
he got 70 orders for next week.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well,
It's absolutely
Faaiz,
amazing.
yeah, Faaiz, one of the things that I've learned from the this last part of the conversation is that you really have to think very creatively. The tool is there, and it isn't just a selling tool for the product, but it could be a tool used to bring people to what you need. And if that's employees, that's amazing. I hadn't thought that way. So very, very interesting. I want to thank you for this. We're at 4:02 right now, so I'm going to bring the webinar to a close. But I encourage all of our participants to go to the website, videosquirrel.app, and take a look at this and kick the tires and try it out. Try to think very creatively in terms of how you would use this. We have received a few more questions. We're not going to air those questions right now. We will address those. Chris and Mary Beth, your questions will be answered in the video transmittal that we send after the webinar. I'd like to bring everything to a close, but in order to do that, I'm going to give Steve, Terry, and Faaiz an opportunity to make some last comments. I'm going to give it to you first, Faaiz. Any last comments?
I would say don't be scared of the digital transformation and all the stuff that's going on. There's 100 ways to sustain your business. And I would just encourage everybody to stay positive.
Great, thank you. Terry, last comments from you.
Yeah, I agree. Stay positive. The monies are starting to flow with the PPP program. We haven't heard a whole lot on the EIDL, but be patient. They're sorting through a lot of stuff. So,
Steve, you get the last word today.
Thank you, Marquita. First off, thank you very much for your hard work in putting these webinars together, Marquita, and then moderating them for us every week. We're very appreciative, and you do an outstanding job. This is all about, for business owners, in these uncertain times, you've got to pivot. You've got to begin to think differently. In some cases, it's going to be better. Don't be afraid to experiment. Our whole emphasis at Innovative Business Advisors is to keep you fully informed and up to date on all of the aid programs that are available and the changing landscape about the guidance regarding those aids, and then bring you resources such as Faaiz Khan and other ways that you can get on the cutting edge and get out in front of your customers and get out way ahead of your competitors in the marketplace. And we're inviting you to pivot and thrive during this period of time. We want you to be not just a survivor, we want to see you thrive in the future. And you can count on us to continue to research these various opportunities. And, you know, Faaiz, we're very grateful for you. I know how busy you are, and you're a worldwide sensation within the internet field. And we're just very appreciative of you giving us this time today. We thank you very much. We wish you and your platform all the best, and we're certainly going to use it, and we're going to recommend it to everybody else that we know in our network as well. So thank you all again. Have a great weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next Friday.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Marquita and Steve and Terry.
Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone, for participating.